Number 1, disable everything so that we can hear what this thing sounds like on its own, naked, embarrassed, on the street. Here we go. Oops.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Okay, dry and naked, dry and naked. There that is. So the
I
first
wanna
thing that I
hold-
put through a vocal is API 2500. Love this plugin. It's made by Waves. I think it's the compressor I use the most. I use it on everything from drums to vocals to strings to tambourine. I think that if you're looking to buy a compressor, there's about 1,000 out there that are amazing. This is just one that I can personally recommend from experience. You can get some great sounds out of it. So let's see what that does to the audio.
I wanna hold the hand inside.
On.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Now, of course, it's a little bit louder, and louder always sounds better to us, but it is listen to what it's doing, the characteristic of what it's doing to the transients and the attacks.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
It's just so smooth, so even. It's really bringing up those quiet parts and kind of taming those loud parts, as most compressors do. So then out of the API 2500, I go into the Logic's pitch correction. Yes, I'm sure I would get plenty of junk for this if more people knew, more of my producer friends knew. But, I've done Auto-Tune, I've done Melodyne, love them, they sound cool, but they have a tone. They have a specific vibe and texture to them that I just don't think works well with my voice. I think I kind of have a very auto-tune, timbre, kind of laser beamy voice as is. So those other plugins seem to color it to the extreme, and it ends up sounding a little bit bad to me. So anyway, Logic's pitch correction, I leave it just, if it's a major scale, nothing fancy there. And then I just tweak the response to kind of fit the melodies that I'm singing to make sure it's not too much T-Pain down here and it's not so slow that it's not fixing my impurities. I don't remember this. It was around 108. Oh, well, I've already bounced the master for Spotify, so it doesn't matter as much. So we go from API into pitch correction and then into my absolute favorite plugin of all time. If you don't have this, heavily consider. It's so mind-numbingly simple, but it is on everything of mine. Not that that's saying much, but I absolutely love it. What it does is it's a limiter maximizer type situation, but it just does it in a really, really colorless way. So without it,
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
with it,
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
now, this threshold is how much you're going to be compressing it, making it louder and louder and louder. This out ceiling is the volume. So what I've done is try to make it the same volume that it was with the API, or at least very close to it. So if I toggle it on and off,
I wanna hold the hand.
see how the volume, output volume is about the same there? So you can really hear the difference. Now with the L2 on it,
I wanna hold the hand
the output of this
inside
vocal right now
you.
is a brick wall. So the next plugin it goes into, it's getting a completely flat, powerful.
I wanna hold
Right?
the.
And I like that because I sing for this song at least. It's very breathy. There's a lot of quiet little syllables and stuff, and both of these feeding into each other really, really brings out all those little quiet parts and smashes them loud parts. So after that, I go into a de-esser, and that de-esser that I use is the Waves one, and I have the
I wanna hold
on
the
this song
hand in.
because I really didn't want the sibilants of the S's to pierce through people and take them out of this kind of lullaby vibe that I was trying to set up. So I really have it punishing all of the sibilants going on. Next up, I went into the Space Designer. I am a big advocate for Logic's Space Designer. It's the reverb that comes with the program, if you weren't aware, and it has some killer shit in it. My favorite is the big plate, which is in large plate, 4.4 second big plate. It sounds like warm. Let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to go to the tail of this so that we can hear what it does. So this is with it off.
Inside you.
This is with it on.
Inside you.
Now, boy, I don't know how it's translating across this stream, but it's this reverb tail that's really warm. It's just got a nice amount of resonance.
Inside you.
It's really pretty. You know, when I listen to really well recorded like folk things that are recorded really well in the best Nashville studios, those reverbs are using like the Lexicon stuff, right? Like the $20,000 situations. And I feel like this big plate in the stock reverb, the Space Designer, emulates that kind of vibe. So anyway, I use it a lot. Next up, we've got an EQ, the first EQ of the day. All I'm doing is punishing all the lows and taking down some of the highs to get that kind of radio Vox effect. I was really inspired by the Dandy Warhols. I don't know if I've said that yet. A lot of their stuff, they use that kind of radio filter type situation. And so I was trying to achieve a little bit of that with this EQ. So here we go. This is with it off.
I wanna hold the hand.
With it on.
I wanna hold the hand in.
Right? As simple as it gets. I'm going to go ahead and close that one out. Next, I feed into the second reverb. 2 reverbs. Count them. I find that doing a little something different on each one kind of fills out that verb really, really thick. So with this one, I'm using Manny. This is Waves. And I've got it on a plate again. Tweaked a bit to the sound. This is without.
I wanna hold the hand.
With.
I wanna hold the hand inside.
That's really where the reverb comes from. Like that's my main reverb on this track. I like the way they sound. You know, I sometimes try to convince myself that this is better than Space Designer because I paid for it. But again, closing my eyes and not using my wallet and brain, I don't know. So again, I'm a hypocrite. Ozone Imager. That's next up on the docket. You know, I'm just going to close everything. I was going to try to keep them all up on the screen, but this chain is just ridiculously large, stupidly large. This plugin is insane. I use it when I do any mastering on my own tracks. It just takes whatever audio and it makes it spread right across the image. It's beautiful. So this might be really this will be impossible to hear on somebody watching this on a phone. But if you have good headphones, you'll hear this. I'm going to just play it anyway. So here we go with it off.
I wanna hold the hand in.
On.
I wanna hold the hand in.
Oof. I mean, I've got HD 600 Sennheisers, and they're, really nice headphones, at least for me, my price range. And, I mean, it just makes such a massive difference.
I wanna hold the hand in. I wanna hold the hand in.
I mean, all of a sudden, it's totally surrounding you. And it's a really relatively simple plugin, too, so definitely worth looking into that one. I never thought I would use it on vocals until like a half a year ago. I would only use it on like the mastering channel, but at some point I was just like, well, let's experiment. Then I have another channel EQ. This is just for taste. I think that the reverb, the Manny reverb, added a little bit too much low end, and I was lazy and didn't want to go tweak that in the Manny plugin. And then I have this thing called Endless Smile, which honestly is not on until a certain point in the song, but I want to talk about it for a second anyway because it's a hilariously cool plugin. I think it's a really small team of dudes. I think it might be like 2 dudes in Scandinavia who make like 3 plugins, and each of them is really neat. This is one of them. It's Endless Smile, and Honestly, like if you are an EDM DJ on the festival circuit, this is definitely a go-to. It is literally one knob, and you crank it up, and it kind of does everything you want to do. A filter, a delay leading up to the big drop, right? Where the confetti cannons and fire go spewing out over the first row attendees.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Now, it's so anticlimactic because this is like the most boring little vocal in the world, but just imagine the big old beat about to drop. Ready?
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Anyway, the way that I use this is sometimes for transitions. It's a really cheap way, and quick way, I should say, of getting like a nice natural sweep out of the vocal into the next section, just automating the intensity. Okay, so with everything on, I'll just talk about these. These are the two doubles. One is left, one is right. The one on the left is...
I wanna hold the hand in.
It's really quiet. I'm just going to pump it up. All right, 28.5.
I wanna hold the hand inside.
Okay, so a very dry, completely dry, radio filtered Vox on the left. 28.5. Doesn't matter too much. Okay. And then on the right, turn this back up. And that's like a, 5 or 6 second long, completely wet reverb. That's just meant to kind of fill out that right side, that right headphone or right speaker. So together.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
With the song.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Cool. That's the verses. The chorus. This is what it sounds in context. So, what do we got? We got, on this, I'm not going to go through all the plugins again. We got API 25 into pitch, into L2. This is a new one. This is killer for vocals. Really, really killer. It's just an exciter, but I really love what it does to breathy vocals. It really just finds that breathiness and then just frickin' pulls it out. I'm going to go to an extreme to kind of show you guys what it does. Right? So, I mean, you might say, oh, why don't you just go to an equalizer and pump up the highs? And trust me, it does not do the same thing. The way that the mathematics work inside of this, it's amazing. It's exciting the frequency, so it's creating like octaves above each sound wave. I don't exactly know how it works, but I know it's different than EQ. So moving on, we've got Effect Rack, which is made by Soundtoys. Killer crap. A little bit expensive. I saved up for this a bit ago, but it was totally worth it, man. They have some crazy awesome gear, and what Effect Rack is well, I guess it's what it sounds. It's an effect rack where you can take all of their individual plugins and stack them up and channel them into each other, which is really neat. And sometimes, since there are so many different modules, the presets in this thing, you could go from, one thing to another. It's just so extremely different. Sometimes I just put this on shit and then just mess with the presets, and that's exactly what I did here. But I knew that I wanted to go for a reverb, and man, it's Echo Boy, which is it's like an echo, it's like a delay. It's one of their individual modules, and they fed 3 of them into each other. then I just tweaked the feedback, and I got this result. So let me turn off everything up to that effect rack there. This is with it off.
Fade into you.
On.
Fade into you.
I mean, that's a beautiful tail on that. I really love this reverb. It's a little bit parking garagey. Like there's like a resonance somewhere in like the low mids that's kind of making it feel kind of like an oil can, like an oil drum type reverb. But like for this, I think it just works. And it is on all 4 of these tracks. So this is my main verb on this situation. And it feeds into another reverb from the module Echo Boy, but it's a completely different setting, which allows you to almost have this very slight delay kind of stepping situation along with a reverb. It's so subtle, I'm not going to try to solo it out, but it's neat. I think just feeding different reverbs into different delays is a really fun kind of experiment for me. Things to do on Saturday nights, sigh. And then finally, into another reverb. Manny, hitting it again. So this is without the Manny on. On. Really, really wet. And all of these 4 are the same other than the pan. So we've got a few different parts. I know you guys didn't ask about the harmony of this song, but just to see how a vocal stack ends up kind of coming together. So this is the main melody, another one, pan to the left slightly. Lower harmony.
Fade into you.
Another lower harmony.
Fade into you. Fade into you.
You can hear that in both of these bottom ones. There's a lot of T-Pain going on, and it's kind of, there's some distortion and artifacting. That's just laziness on my end. I was really trying to get a song out. I think that as producers and songwriters, we constantly struggle with perfection, and something like that's a situation where I let it slide. And I think that that's all right, because playing all of them through, like individually, I hate my takes. You know, they make me cringe, but then when they're all together, they're tolerable. And that was a situation where I felt like it'd be hard to pick out that imperfection. You know what I mean? So then the only other change is we have a higher harmony that happens.
Strength you never knew.
With it.
Strength you never knew.
And in context.
Strength